UFC 241 reaction video here. What an impressive performance. I know a lot of people are hating on Conor and whatever. That was an all-time impressive performance. Doing he always comes out doing the Vince McMahon walk. Now he's doing the forward one, the shoulder. The shoulder of death. What a move. What a fucking power move. We've seen that against the cage before, like people doing little shoulders and little like dirty boxing stuff. In the middle of the octagon, for that to be one of your first moves when you clinch up and throw that dirty shoulder, the greats always pull a new move out of their ass. And that was incredible. And the head kick, and I heard some people online, I think they're trolling, but they're like, oh, this was fixed. Cowboy took a dive. Listen, I think that shit happens in UFC, especially with bad judging. There'll be a great 30 for 30 doc in 10 years about it, but you can't fake breaking a guy's nose and fucking smash him in the head. You can't really fake that. There's no taking a dive on that one. It was just Conor came out fucking mentally, physically ready to go. He was calm. Came out no tarp. I don't know. Reebok gonna sue the guy now? I don't know. But came out and just gave a fucking great performance. Tony Robbins was in his corner afterwards, like after the win. And it was just impressive, man. Like, I think, especially, and Dana talked about this a little bit, in the lead up to Khabib, there was like kind of a darkness, like a venom to Conor, like he was angry and it was just like a really, guy probably wasn't in a good place, probably just ripping blow and drinking whiskey all night. And there's other allegations that we're not going to get into, but the lead up into this one, he seemed like he was in a real good place, a good positive mindset, And even after he won at the post-fight presser, people were, lobbing names out to him, and he just kept going, yeah, all the best. Like, he didn't even, like, start roasting or, start talking shit to people. He was real calm and real measured. And 40 seconds to go in there and knock a guy like Cowboy out. And I know the argument is, oh, Cowboy shot, or he's lost 2 of his last, whatever. Hey, man, Cowboy's still fucking Cowboy. And you going in there and having a performance like that is impressive no matter how you cut it. Something that wasn't impressive, that fight card. What the fuck was that? Chick's blowing her knee out. You got guys from the fucking YouTube show fighting on the pay-per-view main card. Like, the fucking third fight, like after the main and co-main, was a fucking washed-up Division III basketball player versus my grandpa, fucking Kelly Olynyk's dad. What the fuck was that? That old guy just wrestle-fucked him. And, like, I think it was an arm, but it's just like, how is this the third fight? Like, it literally was just such a boxing level of a card. Like, just, okay, we're going to have a big headliner and then just nobody. Then we're going to have Holly Holm coming out here doing a rematch against a chick she already beat. And they're just going to hold each other and it's going to be boring. I'm kind of torn too with that because it's like, I understand as a viewer you want like the ref to break that fight, like break them up when they're just kind of wrestling and it looks like they're not doing anything. But at the same time, it's like if you're fighting and you can just hold somebody, it's on them to get out of that. So, because I know Joe and I think Paul Felder were debating that. It's like I kind of see both points on that. But that wasn't really a great fight, But I think the fight of the night to me was the fucking grandpa. I think the guy's name's Alexio Olynyk or something. The guy's every bit of 60 years old, has the powerful dad strength versus that 6'7" black guy who is just so awkward and slow. They're both like terrible. And they're probably top 10 heavyweights now. In the UFC, if you show up as a man over 205 pounds and you're in the heavyweight division, you are a professional athlete and you're a top 10 fighter. The level of quality for UFC heavyweights is just a joke. Like, I'm not even a fighter. I'm a lover. I'll step in there right now and I'll smash somebody. Give me a year training. I'll go the Logan Paul route. Top 10 heavyweight. And that's not because I'm great. Like, that's not hyping me up. That's just because the division has always been a joke. I think the peak of heavyweight division was when it was like Shane Carwin, Brock Lesnar, Frank Mir, Nogueira, Kane was coming in. Like, that was when it was at the peak. Now it's like, you got Stipe and Cormier. Okay, Cormier's pretty much retired. So, like, he'll have one more fight and probably be done. Stipe is, a good athlete, and he's probably the greatest heavyweight of all time because he defended his belt 3 times. Then you got Ngannou, who's a James Bond villain. So, other than that, it's like, who's in this division that doesn't have a fucking barrel and has any sort of athleticism? It gets fucking hard. Or who isn't 45 and failed the USADA test. The fucking heavyweight division it's rough, man. And I get it because all the elite athletes, if you're a big guy, you go play football, you go, I don't know, just do other stuff. You're not going to be a fighter. It's just not the move as a big athlete. There's no money in it. But we had some notes here. I just want to get into it because we did a preview, and I was kind of like, I was kind of sour on the event. Turned out I was wrong. It was huge. Everybody was talking about it on Snapchat, on Instagram, like it was a big thing. It was just the lead up to me didn't really have the same feel. Like it was, I don't know what, but the night of was obviously huge. Dan Blazarian losing a massive bet on Cowboy. That's tough, but if you got the money, you can blow it, I guess. Yeah, now it's just pretty much everyone wants to play matchmaker. And, I mean, the Joey Diaz, you can fucking, it's, what did he say when he was on Rogan that one time? He's like, the fucking seed is planted. The seed is fucking planted. It is. Dana White wants to see Conor Khabib too. And the sales pitch now after this big win will be, oh, Conor's in a bad place. Now he's, mentally there. He's got his life together. He's positive, I'm a Conor fan. I don't know if he ever gets by Khabib, man. Like that, and he's probably first man on deck now because Khabib Tony has been booked 1,000 fucking times. Never happened. So he's probably, first man up and just, where does Gaethje fall into this? He just buds Gaethje and kind of, but that's the UFC, I guess. It's like, obviously the bigger name, Conor gets what he wants. I think Khabib Conor 2 would be huge, and I'm interested, but it's like, it's tough to sell me on it. But like, just imagine Conor going in and just stomping Khabib in like 30 seconds. It's just tough to imagine that, though. I think Tony, matchup-wise, has a better chance, and I'm super pumped for that fight. And then, obviously, you got Usman, which is just, Usman's such a fucking dork. I'm impressive. Like, he's a great fighter, but just outside the octagon, that guy's such a dweeb. He's just a dork. Like, he doesn't get it. He tries to be, like, cool or something. Like, just doesn't work. He's just a dork. But he's, an amazing wrestler. He's a great fighter. He's going to be tough to beat, but I don't see Conor and Usman going on. That's just not... It doesn't make sense. I guess he has the belt, but otherwise it's like kind of a strange fight. Obviously, Jorge Masvidal, Street Jesus, showed up wearing the Conor robe and had some booze or whatever. I guess he was trying to like make fun of Conor or something, but that one, I don't know. I think Conor talked about the post-fight too. It was like, that was a fucking miss. That was kind of awkward. And the fact that they didn't bring Jorge into the octagon after. I don't know if we're going to see that fight. It makes sense, like it's, it makes sense. That's the fight everybody wants. And the whole, Jorge's bigger than him and stuff. Jorge's the exact same height as Cowboy. Jorge fought at 155. He's a good size 170er, but I think probably Nate Diaz is bigger. Usman's bigger. Tyron Woodley's way bigger. Like, Jorge's a bit bigger than him, but I don't think it's like, a bully matchup where it's like, oh, this guy's fucking 30 pounds bigger. I don't think it's that. Even though Conor, I think it's tough for him to even get to 170. He's got to, like, eat and weight train and stuff. Like, he's really a natural 155er. But that's probably the fight we're going to get. And I think now that, like, Gaethje kind of gets fucked here, but at the same time, I'd love to see a Gaethje-Diaz fight. That would be fucking incredible. Nate Diaz and Gaethje, I think, is the fight to make. They're both kind of in no man's land. I think that'd be a big fight. Matchup-wise, that's awesome. And then probably do Conor, Jorge in... spring or in the summer, unless Khabib or Tony falls out. Another wrinkle to all this, it's fun to play matchmaker. The wrinkle of this is, what if Tony goes in there and beats Khabib? What if he tops him out or just does some wild shit and beats him? Now the fucking world turns upside down and we got, more matchups and more excitement. I think, too, the outside guy was always GSP was going to come in and fight Khabib or Conor. I think that's done. Obviously I'm Canadian. I'm a huge GSP fan. To me, he's the GOAT. I think that's over. Every couple months, or it's just like, where does he fall into this? I don't think he comes back. I think it's probably over. And I would have loved to see him and Conor, or him and Khabib go at it. That would have been awesome, but I think that train's fucking sailed. Or that's impossible for a train to sail, but I think it's that train's pulled away. But it was, what a performance, man. Conor's back, and they can, they can sell the comeback and all the matchups. The world opens up again. If Conor lost that one, I think it's like, okay, it's kind of over, And it was a good fight. Like, UFC never gives out warm-up fights, but this was a warm-up fight. Like, to their golden boy, they give the warm-up fight. But he came out and gave a fucking all-time impressive performance, I thought. What other notes do we got here? I think that's about it. Yeah, I love Conor, too, in the post-fight press conference. They're like, oh, what'd you do different and stuff? And he's like, I just won the small battles, Like, I did the work, I did the little things every day, where if you don't do those things, they kind of add up. And he was like, the last fight camp, he would just fuck off for 3 days, probably partying and shit. And then, I had to do a training session. It was kind of all over. Where this one, he did seem really dialed in and everything, kind of regain the eye of the tiger a bit, which is, you love to see it. And it's kind of a life lesson too, it's like, it is true in life, like all those little mini losses where it's like, you don't do the things you're supposed to, right? And you just blow it off and say fuck off. It's like those add up. Where if you kind of do those little right things, it adds up, and then you're Conor McGregor. Then you become Conor McGregor, and you're making 50 mil a fight. But, yeah, Conor, he's just such an inspirational figure, Like, that last fight with Khabib, he wasn't, because there was, like, a certain kind of bad vibe to him. But just something about the guy is so inspirational when he comes out and gives a performance like that and just says all the right things, and just his vibe. Like, it makes you want to fucking do shit and be great, But UFC is awesome because it's always the what if. It's always let's play the what if game. Because the Masvidal fight, is a tough fight. The Khabib fight's a tough fight. Maybe they give him Gaethje, as like a kind of warm up, another tune up thing. I think that'd be a great fight too. So, but as long as Conor's focused and the Conor we know and love, I'm excited to see him fight. But if he's out there drinking whiskey and ripping lines of blow and fucking punching old guys in the face, it's tough to get behind the guy. But fuck, the king is back. That was fucking incredible. Just the fucking hit. Anderson Silva did that to Chael Sonnen back in the weigh-in like years ago. They got together and he gave him the fucking hit. I just want to be running through the bar now. If you're in a bar fight, just fucking going through, just fucking knocking people out, knocking bitches over. That's the move. It's the ultimate move. The shoulder knockout. Taking it, just a Delt KO, just a fucking weapon. But that's my breakdown of fucking UFC 241. Smell ya.